right, let me see if I can test the energy in the room here real quick. All the men in the house, let me hear you say, "Hey, Rob." All right, all the men doing good. All the ladies, let me hear you say, "Hey, Rob." Y'all stop. Y'all stop that, ladies. I got a girlfriend. My wife is not happy with her either. She does not like her at all. I've been married for 29 years, man. Can y'all believe that? Yeah, that's crazy, man. Love being married too, man. Love being married. But ladies, y'all the whole reason I do comedy. Because my best joke when I was growing up was, "Can I have your phone number?" Ladies thought that was hilarious. You know, "Can I have your phone number?" Rob, you should be a comedian. 25 years later, here I am at Funny Farm, right? I mean, it was hard for me growing up because my name is Rob Coleman, and I grew up at the same time as child actor Gary Coleman. Yeah, so every time I tried to talk to girls, it was like, "What you talking about, Willis?" Can we go on a date? "What you talking about, Willis?" It was hard growing up, man. I wasn't a cool kid, man. You know, I wasn't good at sports. You know what I'm saying? Like basketball, football, all of that stuff. I wasn't good at. I tried football, but I was a small kid, right? And people always tell me, "Well, what position did you play?" I played RB and LB. Running back and linebacker? No, right bench and left bench. Wherever the coach put me. I didn't know how to fight either, man. I found out early in life I couldn't fight. Remember them fights in elementary school, after school? They would form that fight circle around you, and you would square up with another kid, and you knew you had to fight them, and you hear the crowd go, "Ooh," and you know you didn't throw a punch. That meant you was losing that fight, right? But I didn't care though. Monique was one of the toughest girls in 3rd grade. Like nobody could beat her. She had hands. It's terrible for me, man. It was terrible with girls, man. You know, I like to go back sometimes in my class reunion and see all the girls I thought I dated. Because I was the friend zone dude, right? I remember this girl I wanted to date like really bad. I called her and was like, "Hey, listen, why don't you let me take you to skating Saturday?" She said, "Sure, come pick me up at 8. So I get to her house to pick her up and take her skating while her and her boyfriend came out the house. He walked up to me and was like, "You taking us to skating, little man?" The toughest thing I could say was, "Yeah, get in the back seat and you better buckle your seatbelt." It was true, man. I found out the hardest way as I was in the friend zone, right? I remember after I took a girl to the movies, I took her to Denny's, right? We was gonna have a little, after movie dinner. And the waitress came over and was like, "Ooh, you guys make a cute couple." She looked at me and said, "Ooh, no, he just my friend." And I got like real sad about that until I realized she hadn't took our order yet. When you order for a friend, it's a lot different than a girlfriend, ain't it? Right? The waitress was like, "What will you be having?" "Well, I'll be having steak and eggs. My friend is going to order whatever she can afford to pay for, right?" It's true, man. Do you go back to your class reunions? Anybody? Clap if you go back to your class reunions. Yeah? Clap if you can't stand the mugs, right? There's no way I'm going back, right? Yeah, see, I'm kind of like that. Because to me, the idea of a class reunion is, let's take all the people responsible for some of the most traumatic moments in your life, put them all in one room, and let them reminisce about it to old school music, right? Because that's what happens to me every class reunion. The last one I went to, this guy pulled me aside and was like, "You Rob Coleman?" I said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "I remember you." I said, "Oh, yeah, from where?" He said, "You the little motherfucker that sneezed and shitted on himself in the 11th grade. And they always want to know if you remember it, right? You remember that shit, don't you? You remember it, right? Remember it was a school assembly, all the parents was there? You was like, "Achoo, uh-oh." You remember that, don't you? Yeah, me and my therapist talk about it every Friday. Wasn't cool, man. Wasn't a cool kid growing up, man. Hated dating, I dated in the 90s. Anybody in here in their 50s? Where my 50-year-olds at? Yeah, so in the 90s, you was probably like in your 20s, trying to date. Dude, that was a nightmare for guys. Because it wasn't no swipe left and swipe right. You had to deal with old school, uncut rejection. Right? You walk up to a girl, she'll reject your ass and tell you why. Right? I walked up to a girl one time, "Excuse me, would you like to dance?" She said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't like short men." I said, well, shit, I don't like short men neither. You want to dance or not? I can't stand they little ass, you know? Always making cookies and coming out of trees and shit.